Hey everybody, I am Tech Sergeant Twyman with the United States Air and Space Force. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the actual Air Force and Space Force, not the ASVAB. So I'm not going to bore you to death with the benefits. I know you guys get those a lot and all the branches have the same federal benefits, but I am going to touch base a little bit about some of the differences for the Air Force compared to other branches, and then just talk about the importance of looking towards a career for your future, whether it's military or not. So real fast, I'm going to jump into a video. A lot of people ask, like, hey, I didn't want to, or I don't want to be a pilot. Now, the Air Force has 149 different jobs, okay? That can be flying, that could be on the ground, support, medical, anything you can think of, we have. Especially in the Space Force now, they have a handful of jobs for that. But once we get into the video, it's going to be talking more about career enlisted aviators. So these are a handful of jobs we do have that enlisted members can do while they fly. So I wanted to bring those up and allow you to see those. So I'm going to play that video, and if the audio doesn't work, we will get you the video for everybody to see. Oh, sorry.
I did not know that I did not have to be a pilot to fly in the Air Force.
I thought it was just like the pilot, their co-pilots and navigators, but thankfully I was wrong. Being a career enlisted aviator gives you a slew of opportunities. I'm an airborne mission system specialist.
I'm an airborne ISR operator.
I am an Air Force loadmaster.
I'm an E3 AWACS flight engineer.
I'm a special missions aviator.
I'm an in-flight refueling specialist.
I'm a sensor operator on a remotely piloted aircraft.
And I'm a flight attendant in the United States Air Force.
There are some planes that only have pilots, but the majority of the planes in the Air Force are crews. So it can be everyone from a loadmaster to those of us that work on mission aircraft, our intelligence collectors, to electronic warfare crew, to navigators, to flight attendants. We're all working as a crew.
So the Air Force needs in-flight refueling in order to extend how long other aircraft can remain on station, keeping them aloft to get them from point A to point B without having to land and refuel.
The thing I love most about rescue is the fact that I think it's the most noble mission out there. When you bring back someone from the battlefield that's been injured, and bring them back safely and get them home to their family and their loved ones.
So there is a lot of responsibility placed on the flight engineer. You are actually a human computer because everybody expects the flight engineer to know everything about the aircraft.
We are the eyes in the sky that are providing tactically relevant information to the operators on the ground, keeping them safe, letting them know who's out there, who's watching them, what's going on.
In the C-17, I've loaded anything from personnel to jumps out the back, tanks and helicopters, Humvees, MRAPs, almost any sort of vehicle you can load in here.
The main mission of the E-4B is to provide a survivable mobile command center in the sky. Flying on board such a unique weapon system is definitely a big point of pride for me.
My favorite part about being a flight attendant is traveling the world and serving some of the most important people of the United States government. Some of the people we can serve could be the Secretary of Defense, the Vice President, or other distinguished visitors.
Flying is why I joined the Air Force. I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. It's the reason why I wake up and put the uniform on.
It's the best seat in the house, basically. It's a front row seat to see everything.
The reason I became a flight engineer is because I didn't want to just work on the outside of the airframe, I wanted to fly in it. And that's my plane right there.
When I get to look back on my flying days in the Air Force when I'm old and gray, will definitely be very fond memories.
I feel like I have the best job in the United States Air Force.
Okay, now on top of that video, with all the different career fields, some of the differences for the Air Force are, one, the Community College of the Air Force. We are the only branch that actually has a community college. So what that means is when you go to basic training and technical school, you're actually going to be getting accredited college hours for your degree. And you'll get an associate's degree from your career field, which then can be transferred to any other universities, just like going to Walter State in the sense, if you want to look at community colleges. On top of that, tuition assistance, we can use that in our first year. Some branches have restrictions where you have to wait for your second year before you can use that. And then, of course, the GI Bill, every branch has that. That's a federal benefit. Most people decide they want to choose the Air Force. due to the quality of life, and that is a big important thing, especially if you want to look at a career and having a family. And one of those big quality of lives is the same thing for other branches, but you get 30 days of paid vacation. And what that means is you don't have somebody pay for your vacation, and you're on 30 days of leave, or you have 2 weeks off, your paycheck stays the same. So with that being said, some of you have already seen some of these pictures, but my wife and I love to travel. We have a side-by-side. We go on cruises. We went to Alaska last summer. We love Disney. We've been to Australia. We're really outdoors, so we stay active as much as possible, and we try to take time off so that we can rest and relax and enjoy our life together. So the Air Force really gives us that opportunity to where we're not restricted on our leave. We can take it whenever and as long as we want, as long as we have enough leave saved up. Now, going into some of the things I want to talk about, I want to talk about your futures. This doesn't have to be military background, okay? Only 1% of the people in the United States actually join the military. So if you decide to join the Air Force, then we will welcome you with open arms. But this kind of pertains to the military or your regular lifestyle in the civilian life. Now, I really want everybody to be innovative. And by innovative, I want you to kind of never shy away from sharing new ideas. If you have an idea, share it to make things better. So keep fighting to make the world better in your personal life, at work, anything. Now, have fresh eyes and have a fresh mind. I always look at new members in the Air Force, and I take their ideas seriously because they are the fresh eyes to the Air Force. Their ideas could make the Air Force 10 times better. So I never shy away from it just because I've been in longer and I know things. I'm not that way. And that kind of leads to the next one. Stay away from that's how we've always done things, excuse pit. I call those people, personally, I call them old crusties. Some people don't like that, but what that means is those are the older people that have been around for too long, and they're not open to new ideas. They like the way things are, but that doesn't mean that it's the best way to do it. So new ideas, being innovative, and the Air Force has allowed me to be innovative. That's actually 3 of us on that left side at Apple headquarters. We were able to develop an app for the Air Force. In the bottom middle, I was at Northrop Grumman headquarters, working with their computer programmers. And on the right, that's actually us working and developing the app that we worked on at Apple during missions. And we're actually communicating, talking about some of the updates we need to do while we're flying to get the data out. So we have innovation labs. They want airmen to innovate, to help the Air Force save money, but also get smarter and be ahead of the power curve when it comes to the future technology. Now, another thing that's really important, because I'm actually from Kentucky, a small town, so I know how it is to be in a local community that's really small and nobody really leaves the area. It's kind of weird if you actually leave. So coming from personal experience, I always like to say, don't follow the crowds. Be a leader in your community, in your personal circles. Lead the way in that area. Now, don't let others be an anchor. And what I mean by that is friends, families, anybody in your personal life that is trying to keep you from doing something that you want to do, whether it's military, whether it's going to college, whether it's going to a technical training and doing something in that field. Make sure it's something you're going to enjoy and you want to do. And an anchor could be anything from your best friend saying, hey, I don't feel like you should be going and doing this. And that's really just because they don't want to see you leave, but it has nothing to do with you being good at it. I personally was told that I wasn't smart enough to join the Air Force, or on the other end, I was told that I'm too smart to be joining the military. I can use my skills somewhere else. And none of that was true at all. The Air Force has allowed me to excel far more than what I could have done in the civilian world. And so that's what I mean by don't let people anchor you down. Inspire people around you to be better than the status quo. If you have friends that you see that could be better than what they are, really motivate them to go do something. Motivate them to get out there and be better than what they are doing right now. And then branch outside of your comfort zone to grow as a person. Now, this can be anywhere from your personal decisions or jobs or schooling. If you don't feel comfortable leaving too far, but your school you really want to go to is a little far away, then go do that. But if you don't join the military because I'm going to miss my family or too much, yeah, but you get to come home and visit family. But don't let anything like that hold you back from greatness. So that's a key thing. Make sure you are a leader outside of the crowd and leading the crowd. And these next slides I'm going to go over, though, this is going to be 3 different things. I'm going to talk about the college aspect, technical training aspect and working in a company out here in the local area, and then as well as the military aspect. So it's just a few things that people don't think about. Now, these numbers are just average numbers I pulled off the website and off the internet. So they could be different, they could be higher, they could be lower. So don't take me 100% on these numbers, okay? But the average salary that I pulled for somebody with a bachelor's degree was around $59,000 a year. So that's about $4,900 a month. Now, somebody could make a lot more than that, or they could make less. It all depends on what career field you get into and what kind of degree that you get while you're in school. Now, in-state tuition for the University of Tennessee, when I pulled it up, they said that they charge for in-state tuition is $11,000 per year. And now Tennessee, from what I saw, was actually kind of higher than a lot of states. But if you want to do a 4-year degree, that's if you just do 4 years, that's $44,000. Now, one thing that I want to warn people, if you're going to go to college, make sure you stick with what you want to go into. Know what you want to do, because I've had people come in saying that they were 3 years into school and they decided to change their career and their plan, and they went to another college and they had to start over pretty much. So that's another 3 years added on to what they've already done for a 4-year degree. So make sure you actually know what you want to do and don't go into college blind, not knowing exactly what you want to do. Some other costs that people don't think about is just the side costs, books and supplies, room and board, things like that. So they said on average for a year is about $18,000 for other living expenses, that type of stuff. So if you add your tuition and other living expenses and things, that's about $29,000 a year. So for 4 years, almost $100,000. So make sure you're ready for those type of things. This is that going ahead and doing things. Now, going on to technical training type thing. So TCAT for welding, on average, is about $6,000 for books and all of that, from what I got off the TCAT website. I did pull up the average salary for Oshkosh, and that's just a company that's local that pays pretty well. And I wanted to use them as an example because I have a few people that come in that are welders. Now, a welder on average makes about $18.30. Now, that's not starting out, that's after you've been there for a bit. And I know a few welders that work for them that don't make as much as that, but some that could make more. And again, these are just average numbers. So monthly expense or monthly salary is about $3,000 or annual $35,000. And it could go up or could go down, but you got to take into effect, you also got to look at your taxes. The more money you make, the more taxes they like to take. So federal taxes, Social Security, Medicare, that's certain percentages. If you leave the state of Tennessee, you also might have state income taxes. Healthcare, you might have to pay some on that end. But before your bills, if you take a lot of that out, you'll have your monthly salary before and after taxes. So now with the Air Force salary, this actually came off of my own personal leave and earning statement, what we call an LES. I am an E6 and I've been in the Air Force for over 10 years, so take that into effect. This is not what you would make coming off the streets right off the bat. So right now I make a little over $6,000 a month, so that's $72,000 a year. Now, I have free medical, I have zero school debt, I have 2 degrees already, and I'm working on my aeronautical bachelor's degree, so that'll be nice once I finish that. But on the same sense of medical, a lot of people don't really look at this too, but I actually recently went to the dentist and I got the bill that what it would have cost me, and it was going to be over $600 just for a little thing that I had to have done, but I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket. So that is a nice thing for stress. Now, in my actual monthly pay, I get housing allowance. So that changes depending on what zip code you go into, but because of my rank and dependency status, which means I'm married and I have a wife, I get about $1,400 a month for housing here. Now, if I go somewhere else, it could go up, it could go down. You also get BAS, which is, if you want to look at it in a sense, is for food and anything that you may need for bills. And then because I am recruiting, I do get special duty pay, which is about $450 for Air Force, and that's tax-free. Now, we don't get more money because we bring in more people. That is a total rumor there. That is actually just what we get because we are not near an Air Force base. We don't have the same amenities that we would. We have to go to Walmart and things and have the taxes put on it. And on base, we can shop at the commissary and it'd be tax-free. Now, other types of monthly payments that you could get when you deploy, you could get entire tax-free. So your paycheck's tax-free for the entire month you're there. Separation pay means you've been gone from your family more than 30 days and you'll get money for that. hazardous duty pay, clothing allowance. There's extra clothing allowance. So like for recruiting, we have to get our uniforms a little bit more tailored, so we get extra clothing allowance. Now that's a year, not monthly. And then flight pay, depending on how long you've been in, what your rank is, flight pay can go from anywhere from $100 to $1,000 a month. Now, if you look at the military pay scale, on the top there you say E6 and E7. That's a different rank. So E6 technical sergeant, E7 is a master sergeant. So if I make master sergeant, my pay will go up to what that is over 10 years. And then once I go over 12 years, it'll go up. So every year it will go up with the increase in our pay and all of that. So that's really what I want you to take into consideration, because I really push for you to improve your lifestyle, whether it's the military, whether it's college. Just go out and do something. Make sure that you're making good money and you take everything into consideration. I want to squash all rumors that you don't make good money in the military. You're smarter than that to get into the military. Those things are just anchors, is what I always say. So if the military is not for you, I have several friends that have done great things through college, and they're doctors now and lawyers, and you can do those things as well. Don't let anybody hold you back. But if you have any questions about the Air Force or Space Force, this is a lot of my contact information. Again, I am Technical Sergeant Brendan Twyman. That's my phone number, email address. I have Facebook, Instagram. They should have an online application thing that we sent out, but if not, that's the link to it. And then also the link to the Air Force website. So if you have any questions about the United States Air Force or Space Force, feel free to contact me. Ask your teachers, ask anybody at the schools. If you don't feel comfortable talking to a recruiter because you feel like it's going to be a used car salesman pitch, which I don't ever do, I try to make sure that you're comfortable in talking. You have two sources here at the school as well who are Air Force JRTC instructors. They both are in the Air Force or retired. So you have a major and a senior master sergeant from the Air Force. So go pick their brain. If you ever have free time, just go into the class and ask them some questions. And at any point you feel intrigued enough to talk to me, by all means, I will be in Morristown. I'm the only Air Force recruiter for this area. So I will be the one you talk to for at least the next 2 years, and then I'll go back to my job in the regular Air Force. So other than that, if you want to know any more information, let me know. But have a great day.